Ericksonian hypnosis is not a way of conceptualizing a whole person. It's not a theory of psychodynamics. It's a tool to help people to heal. When I trained in Ericksonian hypnosis, I trained in one of the largest and oldest training institutes in the country, in New York City. And after I finished my training, having had a therapeutic background and trained in many types of therapy, I really began to feel that it might have been the best training, but it wasn't well trained. In time, I began to realize what I had lacked in my training. One of the things that was lacking was really experiencing all of the techniques. It's very nice to learn them intellectually. It's nice to do a simple exercise and to read about them. It's another thing that when, in addition to the didactic, and in addition to the intellectual, in addition to the discussions, you have to practice, and there's somebody there to help you feel and experience how it's working, whether it's working, why it's not working, and how to make the adjustments, and for me, why I need to make an adjustment. So one of the things that's so important in the Ericksonian training is to make sure that you're having your personal experience and applying what you know as quickly as possible in the class. Because people want to learn how to use it and how to do it, but they don't necessarily want to practice. I don't want to train you and then have you out of control with a client. I want you to make your mistakes in front of me and to remember that you're a learner. You're a student. In order to learn, you have to make mistakes. So in the Ericksonian training, we are very intense. It's 2 10-day periods where you are immersed in it. You are experiencing it. You'll be working through some of your own issues using the Ericksonian techniques. You're with 10, 15, 20, 30 other people. There's a dynamic interchange. I'm learning from you, you're learning from me, you're learning from each other. The other thing that is very important about Ericksonian training is follow-up. Many people come in and train you, you have an intensive weekend, and they disappear. You never see them again. Whether it's in Mexico or it's in Guatemala or Brazil or India, I make sure that I'm there every so often. I come back to help you with the continuity of applying what you've learned. You know, Erickson said you put into each session as much as the person puts in. If they put in 50%, you put in 50%. And the same thing with the teaching. You're putting in a lot, I'm putting in a lot. We both deserve the continuity. You know, I love the Buddhist philosophy that a great master is only a master when 3 of the master's students are greater than the master. Looking at the Ericksonian training, the 2 10-day workshops, I want to be very clear. Yes, it's intellectual. Yes, it's experiential. Yes, it's didactic. But more importantly, is that there is a philosophy, a way of setting up a context that is very carefully explained and experienced. It's the container. It's setting up an environment that promotes the ability to learn in this fashion. The second thing that the training is very clear about is there are 30 to 40 specific strategies that Erickson used to truly facilitate a very effective way of communicating. These strategies are carefully explained. These strategies are experienced in exercises and stories, and you have to use them and become familiar with them. These strategies can not only help you in your everyday life, but there are many ways of learning them. So I can give you the definition. I can talk about the same strategy by telling you a story. I can show you a photograph that has everything in it that is that strategy. I can tell you a joke and it's that strategy. Or I can use simply a quotation. You know, there's a wonderful quotation in a sense that, say, trauma will change me, but it doesn't have to humble me. The beautiful thing about the training itself is some of us learn visually, some of us learn intellectually, some of us learn because we can sense it. There's no right way of learning. Neurologically, we know there are at least 5 to 6 major ways we can really learn. So in this training, those strategies, the philosophy and the context, are repeated over and over again in 5 or 6 different modalities, so that those of you who learn visually will learn it. Those of you who learn experientially will learn it. Those of you who take it on as an intellectual challenge will learn it. And in Brazil, often the lyrics to many of the favorite songs are perfect to support each Ericksonian strategy. What better way to learn than listening to the lyrics, dancing around the room, learning the strategy? And this is very important in the kind of teaching we do.